So I'm going to ask you a few questions about these particular brain sections, just to sort of test where you are. So I'm going to point to this structure and have you identify it. And the answer to that would be the internal capsule. In this particular section, I could also ask, just have it on the table, and the question might say, tell me what divisions of the brain are present in this section. When I ask that question, I'm asking for the cut side up, okay? So oftentimes these are thick sections. Don't look at the bottom. Look at everything you can see at the top on the cut surface. So the answer to that question would be telencephalon, yes, and diencephalon in this brain section. I'm going to move to this section and ask you to identify this structure here, and that would be the corpus callosum. These structures to identify would be caudate nuclei. If I asked you to identify what divisions of the brain were present in this section, I'd be looking for telencephalon, because we have cortex, and diencephalon, because we have the optic chiasm, an optic nerve tube, or cranial nerve tube. In this brain, if I point to this structure, I'd be asking, I'd ask you to identify it, in which case it would be the lateral geniculate. I could also pin that structure and ask for its function. And its function would be conscious vision. I could do a similar thing with either or all of these other bodies. So let's try this one. Identify. That would be the caudal colliculus, or what is the function of the structure, and that would be auditory reflexes. In this particular brain as well, I could point to this area here, or this space, and ask you to identify it, and that would be the fourth ventricle. How about let's identify this entire structure? That would be cerebellum. What division of the brain does it belong to? That would be the metencephalon, along with its friend, the pons. Next question. I feel like we're on Jeopardy. I'll have a brain for 200, Alex. Identify the space. And the answer would be the mesencephalic aqueduct. Identify this space. That would be the lateral ventricle. here, and here. Identify the structure. That would be the hippocampus. Identify these structures. Crus cerebri. Here's another section. Identify the structure, and that is the cerebellum. This here would be a peduncle connecting the cerebellum to the brainstem. Identify the space. Fourth ventricle, and identify the structures. Pyramids. Let's keep looking at this and ask ourselves, what divisions of the brain are present? So just start with telencephalon and go through the list. Telencephalon, no. Diencephalon, no. Mesencephalon, no. Metencephalon, yes, because we have cerebellum. Myelencephalon, yes, because we have pyramids. What? Okay, don't hate me. What if I was to pin in here and ask you for a lower motor neuron associated with that division of the brain? First, let's ask ourselves, what division of the brain is it? We are in the myelencephalon. Yes, we are. The myelencephalon has a lot of cranial nerves associated with it, so 6 through 12. Not all of them have motor function, but for those that do, they would have lower motor neuron nuclei associated in that division. So it would be abducens, facial, hypoglossal, and the parasympathetic nuclei of cranial nerves 3, 7, 9, and 10. That just blew you all away, I'm sure. So for each of the brain divisions, you should know which cranial nerves are associated and what upper or lower motor neuron nuclei might be present in that division. This ends our rapid fire assessment.